Hello, Hannah. Soul Dr. Nick here, and today I want to talk about the fantasies that we live in our lives and how that's actually, in some ways, limiting the lives that we're living. And one of the fantasies I was dealing with right now is just the idea of the mother who can do it all, who can be perfect and kind and caring and loving and compassionate, and also working and keeping up the home, and also socializing, and also being a great daughter, and taking a look these days is how we've gotten here. And almost every mother that I've been with thinks that they're failing their child. And I laugh because my joke often is like, hey, he's alive. I've done my job. That's my duty. That's all that's expected of me. If I show up 2 legs and a heartbeat, people are like, wow, you're such a great dad. And yet if the mother isn't cooking things perfectly, cutting things up in beautiful star-shaped patterns and buying organic and and seeing things 10 steps into the future, then they're wrong. Or if they get upset or angry or they're tired or anything else like that. And I'm looking at this because part of it is then we're not looking at the bigger picture. One of the biggest things right now is for females in this world to feel safe, like actually feel safe, not comfortable, safe. Safe from violence, safe from losing access to resources, safe from judgment, safe from their children being taken away, safe from being willing to actually choose the life they want to live, whether they want to have kids or not, whether they want to be a career person or not, whether they want to stay home or not, whether they want to have the parentals involved or not, and how to create boundaries at work, and how to create this all in community when we haven't understood community. One of the things I realized I was looking at some of the indigenous tribes is that the mothers don't always have to be mothering all the time. And part of the reason they can do that is because the kids are growing up in a tribal fashion where they have other people to entertain them at all times. And nowadays in these isolated pods, for myself included, I'm like, of course the little one's looking for our attention, because who else's attention he's gonna get? There's no one else. And then you actually have to create play dates. It's not like it is just a natural, normal thing where you send all the kids here and when they all are all at a playground together, they almost don't know what to do with each other. It's kind of interesting. And how's that with adults too? We are on our phones, we're not interacting with each other. When we see each other, how often do we actually say hello? And it's funny, I was listening to Jerry Sargent yesterday of Star Magic, and he's saying one of the challenges they put forth is, what if the first 13 people you see every day, you say, I love you too, and offer them a hug and see what happens. And it's a practice. I thought about it, I was like, oh God. And can I even start that with my own family? Right? Like even start it there with the people that I know will receive that. Start that off and remember that first thing in the morning, and then practice extending it, step outside my comfort zone. I realize that's part of it. I'm jumping off into tangents, but it keeps coming back to how is it that we have all these fantasies of how we're supposed to be? And then in living that fantasy, we compare ourselves and judge ourselves. And that's especially for the mothers. And I say especially not because there's anything wrong with it. It's just right now that's top of mind. And I'm about to head into a breath session today with a mother and supporting her with safety, with feeling whole, with feeling complete. And noticing, how do I balance the perspectives? This is my work right now, to balance my own perspectives first. I had a mother who stayed at home, who was university educated, who could have done many things and was driving us and everything else like that. And now sometimes I have the guilt of not appreciating her enough. And then I keep coming back to what was her fantasy of what she thought she was supposed to be, how she was supposed to do, and the courage to actually step away from the academic side. And how do I support more of that these days? Not to step away from, but to step towards what someone actually wants. When you're stepping towards what you want and truly are getting clear on it, then it's letting go of the fantasy and it's letting go of the judgment of someone else that may guide you back to that fantasy too. Yeah. So, as I contemplate the bigger picture of how do we support all these mothers, I come back to the immediate picture of how do I support this mother? And especially, how do I support the mother of my child in being who she wants to be? And I'll keep coming back to this. Lots of love. Ciao for now.